What I have here is memories of Associated Spring. This here is a drill press that I got from the tool room somewhere early to mid 1990s. They were going to be upgrading the tool room at that time, and I heard wind that this was going to be scrapped. And instead of scrapping it, I asked Charlie to help me bring this home. He had a pickup truck at the time. So we brought it home, my house, and we put it right here. And it's actually been here ever since that day that I brought it home. Let's have a closer look at this drill press. Here is the drill press. And it's a stand-up drill press from the floor all the way up. I placed this board on here so I can do my drilling. Well, let's have a look around over here to this side. Here is the top. And this top lifts. I can do this. There we go. And as you can see, there's some pulleys here that governs the speeds. And there's one back in there. This is actually the original pulley. It's been here ever since I got this machine. So is the paint. You can see all the paint here. It's peeling off. It's all the same paint. And it's got this rusty column. I'll talk about this in a minute. Has the same electrical wiring. All I've had to do is plug it in. I haven't done anything else with it. Well, let's close this lid. One thing you'll note is there's a slot here on the lid, and it should fit over this piece, this little bracket, and as you can see, it doesn't. I suspect that this has been modified at some point, such that this doesn't correctly fit anymore. If we look over on the other side, it's the same thing. Looking over here on the left-hand side, again, all the paint here is chipping. You'll notice a power spring. And this power spring, well, I think it's seen better days. In fact, I suspect that it's probably not the original power spring. So as you look closer, it's being held together here by a hex wrench. I suspect that one of the tool makers, they did a little hack job in order to keep this thing here working, and they put this hex wrench there. This is exactly the way as I received it. And I suspect that this power spring here was probably remade in the special order department. I will have to do some greasing on this, make sure it doesn't break, but I don't think this is the original, given what I'm seeing here. Having another look at the spindle itself, right here, you'll notice that it moves a fair bit back and forth, and it's not exactly rotates in a circle. It's more of an oblong. The bearings up here are probably worn. This here is a locking mechanism. When I drill holes with this, well, the holes aren't always round, and they're not necessarily straight down either. That probably has to do with the bad bearings. And this thing here, well, it's got lots of play, as you can see. Continuing around this drill press, going over here, there's a handle here. And this handle is connected at this point. But as you look at it, you will notice that there's been welding done here at this part. So this handle is also on a bit of an angle. This is not the original handle. I suspect that one of the tool room guys, again, they did a little hack job here. This may have been a straight bar at one time. And they decided they want more of a handle. So they bent it. Did some welding right here. And it's just attached on by this bolt. I have never taken this apart. I've just used it as it is. Going further around this drill press, I placed this board on here so I can do my drilling. I also made this board in order to do the drilling that I do here with the wood and various other things that I use. But underneath it is the original steel table right here. And it's losing paint. This is all the original paint on it. I had to make it a little bit bigger in order to do the work that I'm doing. This has to be replaced at some point. And the one thing I like about this particular drill press is it goes all the way down to the floor. And that means that the throat, or the distance between that tool bit and this tabletop, can be brought all the way to the floor, and I can put large pieces in here. If you go back to some of my older videos, you will see that I did put rather large table in here that basically took up that entire space. Looking at this on the top, there is a locking mechanism here in order to move this table up and down, but all it does is just lock it in place. There isn't any kind of a wheel or a gearing or electrical mechanism or anything at all in order to move this table up and down, just this lock right there. So as soon as I unlock that, this table has a tendency to go down. Luckily, it's not exactly square, so it sort of wobbles its way down here. I just have to hold on to it when I do this. And I have to make sure my feet are not underneath this. Looking at this drill press a little farther, if we go down here, you will notice that the column is rusty. And I like it to keep a little bit of rust on here, because as soon as I let go of that mechanism or I undo that, this column or this table right here has a tendency to fall down. And this rust here is sort of stopping it from going down too quickly, so I can actually hold on to it before it comes down. Moving this up and down is a chore. So I thought often maybe oiling this a little bit, but no, that wouldn't be a good idea, because then I'd lose control of this. Going down here to the base, that's the original base. You'll notice here there's a hole, probably one that was bolted down in the tool room, and there's a couple of holes back there as well. And it's all rusty. Maybe one day, it's only been 25 years or more, I'll have to clean all this up, and maybe I'll paint it Associated Spring blue. So let's have a look at this electrical right here. It's clear that that has been bent that way. I look down here, I can see the bend. So this was at one point straight, coming straight across here, and somehow it got pushed back, which may be why this is out of alignment. You can look at it from the side here. Yep, a little bit of damage. Carrying on, looking at this drill press, we go over to the right. Here is the nameplate. It says A.R. Williams Machinery. Down here is a serial number. But more importantly for us, right here is a nameplate from Associated Spring, actually Wallace Barnes. And it says, if I can get this on focus, it says WB 13-12. And here it is, Memories of Wallace Barnes and Associated Spring. In case you're wondering, does it work? Well, indeed it does.